All right. First things first, I just want to say welcome. I'm super excited to crush this with you. I wanted to put together a video to say welcome, but also to give you the play. This is the play that cost me a lot of time, a lot of money to figure out, and it's worth it. It's well worth it. If you download this document down below and you memorize that thing like it is your speaker Bible, right? I need you to understand the play. I need you to run the play exactly, rinse and repeat. So before I go over the exact play, I want you to understand your market. You have to understand your market in order to know how to run the play correctly within your market. Whether you're in education, corporations, associations, faith-based, it doesn't really matter. You understand your market. You understand the timing in your market. If you do not, then you need to be having calls with decision makers within your market and asking people specific questions to understand these things. You need to know what they have money for. You need to know when they have that money, what to say, how to say it, when to say it, etc. So in the education market, that's what I'm going to use an example because that's what I'm in. January through March, I'm very intentional about doing a massive amount of outreach because I know that budgets just renewed for the new year. I'm usually booking 3 to 6 months out in education. If it is January, then I am booking for March, April, May. I'm doing outreach in January for March, April, May. If I am reaching out in May, I am doing bookings for August, September, October. You need to understand the cycles of your market, when to reach out to people, what to say at what time. If I'm reaching out in August, I'm not reaching out to go speak in August, September, October. I'd be reaching out to go speak in November, December, or January. You see what I'm saying? And so once you understand that, you get to remove those expectations that you're going to book something in a week or two. It's not going to happen that way. That's not how it happens. And if you have those expectations and they don't happen, you're going to think you're a failure. That's not true. You're just misunderstanding your market and your timing. Okay, like I said, it's different for corporations, it's different for associations, it's different in faith-based and so on and so forth. But most decision makers or event planners are planning ahead of time, and you need to understand that timing. Have conversations with them to understand their budgets. That's what we're talking about next. Budgets. A lot of speakers come to me and they say, Jared, these people don't have money for a speaker. You're right. Nobody's paying for a speaker anymore. They're paying for people to fix a specific problem. You're not selling keynotes anymore. Now that you're with Speakhyve, you're not selling keynotes anymore. You are selling yourself as a solution to a problem. And you need to pick better problems if you're not getting booked. Some of you are solving the wrong problems for the wrong people in the wrong places. I had a speaker come to me one time and say, Jared, I have a really good message. It's about inclusivity, which I agree with. It's about finding yourself and your true identity. I also agree with that. Authenticity, beautiful message. But he was reaching out to the wrong states that don't have budgets for those things specifically. One of those states being Texas. I live in Texas. I know what Texas is paying for. If you are an NFL player, an MLB player, an NBA player, any sports player, professional athlete, you could make a full-time living in Texas. Me, I speak about mental health. I get booked the most on the West Coast and the East Coast, New York, California, Oregon, Washington, Illinois sometimes. I have my top 5 or 6 states that I go to all the time because those states have state initiatives that align with my message, so I know who to reach out to and what to say. If I said those exact same things to Texas, they would be like, no, we don't have a budget for that. So that should make sense to you. Maybe some of us are just reaching out to the wrong places. We need to align our messaging with the budgets within the market. You need to position yourself as a solution to one of their problems. And if you're not getting paid high ticket, then you're probably just not solving a high enough level problem. For an example, in education, there's this thing called chronic absenteeism. Kids are just not showing up and they're not taking ownership anymore. So there's a budget for this because schools are businesses. If kids don't show up, the school doesn't get funding. If enough kids don't show up, the school gets shut down. So it is actually in the school's interest to hire someone to help the student engagement go up to the point that the students take ownership and they actually show up to school again. There's a real ROI, return on investment, attached to booking a speaker that helps with student engagement and ownership. That should make complete sense to you. If you're not solving a problem and positioning yourself as a solution, don't be surprised when they do not have the budget to pay you. So you need to look over your program and you need to figure out the core value in your program. What problem are you solving? And does that problem align with a budget that the schools or the organizations that you're trying to speak in actually have money for. So we went over the market and the timing. You need to understand when to reach out to people. Then we went over the budgets. You need to understand what to say in order to be paid. And now here is the play. It's called block booking. All you have to do is get one booked gig that anchors you to the calendar. We call it an anchor gig. Doesn't matter how you get this gig. It could be a free gig. It could be you speaking at a conference doing a workshop that you're paying for. Doesn't matter. We use it as leverage to fill up the rest of the week worth of bookings that could lead to tens of thousands of dollars for you. So let's say you're in Los Angeles on September 17th. You have this anchor gig. You might not even be paid for it. Maybe you did outreach to get this gig. Maybe it came through your social media. Maybe it came through word of mouth or a referral. It doesn't matter. You got one gig on your calendar. Some of you already have gigs on your calendar that we could run this around. What we're going to do is we're going to hit up everybody within like a 100-mile radius. If you're speaking in schools, we'll hit up all the principals in the area. If you're speaking in corporations, we'll hit up all the companies in the area. And we'll tell them you're coming and that they have this opportunity, this unique opportunity to book you at a fraction of the price because they don't have to pay for travel. And we'll tell them, pick the day before, the day afterwards, and you can get this discount. You're going to get one, turn it to two, turn it to three. And then once you have multiple, you start putting the names of the companies and the schools or whoever you're speaking to in the email sequences. And you keep running campaigns, 3, 4, 5 sequences out to these same people. And you're increasing the fear of missing out. So you'll say, hey, I'm reaching out to all the companies in the area, just saying, hey, I'm sending this to everybody, first come, first serve. And you send it in sequence. First starts out with the whole week's available, then just 3 days available, 2 days available, 1 more day's available, last call, who wants it. And that's how you turn one gig into 5 and you turn that whole week into a tour. That's how I've been doing it for a really long time now, to the point that I don't do anything else. If I book a gig right now in California, that is California's week. If I fill up that week, I end up staying for 2 weeks. I call that a residency tour. My family will go with me. We'll book an Airbnb. We'll have a really good time and we'll make tens of thousands of dollars helping people. What's better than that? That's literally a dream come true. We've done this in Hawaii. I'm already booking a Hawaii tour right now for September. That's what I want to do. And that's exactly the play that I'm going to run. We're going to book one gig, block book around it. And then when we show up, here's the important part. When it's time, when you show up, if you want to make this something that's repeatable over time, what you have to do is a really good job. You go and you over deliver. You go do a good job. Here's the reason why. Number one, it's obviously the right thing to do. You're in this for the impact. Go make impact. Number two, it's easier to work with the same people year after year after year and expand on that within communities than to book 50 new people each year. I want to work with the same core 20 to 50 schools a year and just continue my outreach outwardly throughout their districts than to have to book 50 new people every single year. That's not what you want to do. You want to build clients just like every other business. You want to build relationships with your clients that grow. And so you go and you do a good job and you get referrals. Now make the referrals a part of your contract. That's what we do. It's a part of my contract that if I do a good job, you have to tell 5 to 10 people about me. You have to. It's a part of our contract. Our contract is not complete until you do that. Now, what I do to make that easier for them is I'll write the emails for them that they can send out. I also film and create them a recap video and get a video testimonial from the decision maker that they attach in the email and send out to people. So it's not just them saying words, right? Hey, check out the speaker. It's actually a video of me speaking with crowd engagement and their testimonial put into this like speaker reel recap video that gets everybody excited. You follow up with that decision maker. You make sure that they send those emails out. Once you get another booked gig from those referrals, because it should happen, understand that that's probably within their area. What do you do now? You repeat the entire process. You treat that gig as the anchor gig. You reach out to everybody else that maybe said it wasn't a good time for this last tour. Now they understand the impact of it. Now they have referrals and people to call and say, hey, was it really good? Oh, it really was that good. Okay, we're going to do it this time. Again, it might be 3 to 6 months out now and you have time to build a whole nother tour around it. And you rinse and repeat that. Man, I'm getting excited right now because a lot of you are like, oh my gosh, I was doing this the hard way. Yes, you were. Every single month you were starting over from zero. But now you understand that the real winners in this game build off of momentum. You rinse and repeat this play. Now, let's talk about when it doesn't work. What if you're like, Jared, it just didn't work? I tried to block book. Nobody wanted to book me. I still went to that one anchor gig. I went, I delivered it, and I asked for referrals and they just ghosted me. They never responded. First things first, I need you to go look in the mirror and really ask yourself, did you kill it? Like, did you really kill it? Did you over deliver? I've had to do this many times in my career. It hurts. I have a friend named Chris Singleton. He's a 7-figure speaker. And he said, Jared, if you're not turning 1 gig into at least 2 or 3 gigs, something's wrong with the product. Something's wrong with the speech. Something's wrong, because you should be doing so well that people should literally just want to scream it from the rooftops. Like, these schools need this guy. Like, that's the type of energy that you want from your decision makers. And if you're not getting that, you first have to be honest with yourself, right? You need to rewrite your program. You need to change something. That's all I'm saying. You need to change something. You need to improve the product or the service first. Next, if you're truly like, Jared, I know I killed it. I mean, people were crying on the testimonials. People were crying to me afterwards. It was amazing, and I'm still not getting results. Then I need you to rewatch this video. I need you to download that form down below, and I need you to go through the process again. I need you to make sure that you have all of these touch points. So I'm going to give you this recap right now. First things first, when you book that anchor gig, paid or not, we're doing outreach. Okay. If you didn't get anybody booked on the outreach, we need to look over the copy again. We need to make sure that we're doing outreach in the right market. Remember, we're going to go back to the beginning where I said some of us are outreaching to the wrong people. Sometimes we're outreaching to the wrong people at the wrong time, saying the wrong things. So we need to make sure that all those things are in alignment, right? Let's make sure what you're talking about is important to the state or the area or the district that you're reaching out in, or the companies that you're reaching out to. We need to make sure that the market is in alignment with our message, and that we're speaking about things that people actually have budgets for. Some of us are like, Jared, I'm getting on calls and people are really excited about what I speak about and they love what I speak about, and then they go have some meetings, come back, and they say they don't have any money for it. Okay, well, we need to change the way that we word what we're speaking about. I can give you an example. One time I was speaking to this school that said, Jared, we usually pay our speakers from the traffic tolls, and speakers come in and talk about driving, and they're like, the students are bored, like they don't want to hear about that. We need somebody to talk about mental health. So they're like, let me help you rewrite your proposal so that way we can align it with what our grant writers care about, and we can use the traffic toll money to pay you, because mental health leads to better decision making that could then lead to better driving decisions. And they made it work. They made it make sense to the grant writer. They wrote the grant and they paid me. So, at the end of the day, also, you just need to be honest with your decision makers, show them your heart, build a relationship with them. And if they really want to pay you, tell them, hey, I'm willing to figure out how we can make this work. If you need me to call some nonprofits, if you need me to rewrite my proposal or reword certain things that fit buzzwords in your market so that way it makes sense to the person that writes the checks, I'll do whatever I have to do. And you would be surprised how many people are like, oh, yeah, I think that'll work. And you make it work. All right, real quick before I go, I want to make sure that it is crystal clear to you. This is the play. You book 1 gig. Whether you're doing outbound, you're doing outreach through our email system, and you get 1 gig booked, then we're going to block book around it. We're going to hit up everybody in a 100-mile radius, let them know that you're coming, create some fear of missing out, turn that one talk into a tour. You show up, you over deliver. You get referrals. You're putting this in your contract, so they have to give you referrals. From those referrals, you book another gig. And then we repeat the entire process. We're going to outreach again. And what happens is you're outreaching to the same areas. Now they have referrals. Now they have people that they can call. It gets easier and easier and easier, and you become like a local celebrity. Year after year after year, you're coming back to these areas. You're getting more people involved, nonprofits involved, more companies and schools involved, more clients. That's it for today's video. Do not forget to download the document down below. If you have questions, you can ask us in school. You can show up to the coaching calls, be a part of the community. As we always say here at Speakhyve, the system works if you work it. So get to work.